How is everyone doing today? Hopefully this is working. I think it's working. I'm looking to see. Normally another screen comes up, so y'all bear with me as I figure out if this is working as it should be. I think we are. I think we're good. Okay, everyone. Hey, it's Kim with the 536 show. The 536 show is all about, the 5 is all about change and freedom. The 3 is all about communication, joy, creativity. 6 is all about health and education, and that is the goal of this show. So with this show today, I'm going to be a little bit more vulnerable. I'm going to talk about some of the things that are going on in my life, in my family's life, and the things that I'm doing to help me get to the point of clarity, right? The point of clarity. So, but before I do that, I always like to start off with what I'm drinking and what I'm eating and all that kind of good stuff, because it is still a combination of Arbonne as well as numerology and then whatever's going on in the day. So when it comes to Arbonne today, I mixed up a few things and it tasted really good. I'm now calling this the Pixie stick. I mixed up one of the MindHealth, if you can see that, one of the MindHealth, one of the Skin Elixir. The Skin Elixir has the hyaluronic acid, which helps you create your own collagen, for healthy collagen from the inside out. It's not just for your face, it's collagen throughout your body. And so, yeah, I want good collagen throughout my body. I want my knees looking right too. But yeah, I also want my face looking good too. Let me go back to MindHealth. I posted earlier about MindHealth and some of the things that are in MindHealth. So MindHealth has the sunflower phospholipids, coenzyme Q10. It has the grapeseed extract. So it's really good to get your brain functioning. So these two sticks, I added these two with the InnerCalm. Okay, the InnerCalm. And the peach green tea flavor, to be specific, added with a scoop of that. And then I added one of my favorite ingredients right now is the Bubly water. Bellini Bliss is my favorite one. And so I like a little bubbly to all of my stuff. I'm about to have some now, but not this. I'm gonna have something else. I had this afternoon before I took a nap, and I was very relaxed. Daryl saw me in there having a retiree nap, and I was feeling good, y'all. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't feeling good. I was good and relaxed, okay? Now, because it's I want to be, alert on the show, I have mixed up the Bellini Bliss, as you all saw, with some cut up strawberries, some ice, and some blood orange fizz. And so I'm still getting that coenzyme 10. The blood orange fizz, the MindHealth, the InnerCalm, they're still on sale right now for the end of the week for 20% off. If you get the caffeine free fizz, it's 50% off. So let me know how I can help you in that. All right, so yes, that's my Arbonne stuff. We're still in Mental Health Awareness Month, and in Mental Health Awareness, I actually had to kind of check on my own mental health awareness. And it kind of came to a head when I announced last week was my last day of work. That last day of work in the office was actually not planned. It was funny how that last day of work came to be, but there were a few things. There were some conversations that happened. There were some overheards of an all-call. There were phone calls, people calling what I would say was my desk and asking for the next person. And what I had to do is say, oh, it's time for me to move on, because, and I was even told, well, that person thought that they were going to be moving to that desk and that I would be gone. And I needed that. I needed that little push to be like, hey, you're less than a month from my final out. It's time to process. It's time to do all the things that I need to do. And so that ended up being my last day in the office. Tomorrow will make it a week that it's been my last day in the office. So the very next day, even though I had medical appointments scheduled and a few things like that, I actually still woke up feeling lost. And my other retired friends said that's normal. and to kind of sit with it. And it's hard to just sit with that lost feeling and that feeling of, well, what do I do now? I have a whole list of things to do as far as busyness, to stay busy, to ignore the feeling of, well, what am I doing now? Between the Arbonne business, between the astronumerology business, between being a holistic, healthy clarity coach, there's a lot to do. Out processing, going to my medical appointments, there's a lot to do, but I want to do it in a way where I'm showing up as my full self, which is the whole point of healthy clarity, and the whole point of my numerology journey was to stay present in all the things. But like I said, I found myself in those first couple of days feeling lost. Yes, my calendar told me that I had a doctor's appointment, but I was still, it was a weird feeling that I couldn't explain and that I didn't know. I've heard people say, hey, it's normal to feel this way right when this happens. But I hadn't actually felt it. So then I felt it. So this week I said, not that I don't want to feel that way, I want to do something about it. And what I mean by I want to do something about it, I want to be intentional. And I remember one of my friends, Amanda, she told me about one of my other friends who was using ChatGPT to organize her life. And I don't believe in hard organization. I do believe in something that's flexible. And so I actually really enjoy using ChatGPT for all kinds of things. I use ChatGPT to make a lot of my graphics for my business. And so I decided to be honest. And here's what I told it. So if you're trying to think like, how do I talk to ChatGPT to get a weekly planner? I've been able to get a weekly planner for my home-based business, a weekly, and it's based on what I put in there. So I'm going to read you all the prompt that it gave me, and then I'll talk to you all about some of the tips that it gave me on the way and how I got there. So I said to ChatGPT literally, I'm in the first weeks of leaving the office and in the transition from the Air Force. I feel a little lost. Can you help me schedule and prioritize my life? I need to check in at work at least once a day until the 30th of May. That's my final out day. I want to strength train 3 times a week and cardio 3 times a week. I want time to write and do devotional. I want time to work my Arbonne and astronumerology home-based businesses. I want to cook dinner with my son. I want to make meaningful posts online and original content. I want to spend time with my husband and my son. I want to have time to do creative work like improv, acting, and writing. I want to connect to new people. I want to connect to old people. I want to take a break on the weekends. Help me schedule my life. I will tell you that as an exercise, it is an exercise for me to actually write down the things that I want. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I used to be caught up in the conversation of I should only write down my needs. When I'm only writing down my needs, I'm stuck in scarcity mindset, thinking that that is the only thing that can be provided for me. When I start writing down my wants, I'm saying these are bigger than the needs. I can ask above and beyond the need. I can ask for the overflow, right? And so I want a schedule that includes the overflow. And even as I ask for the overflow and I hear myself asking for things, I think to myself, I'm probably still limiting myself because the asks are based on whatever I can believe or whatever I can see for myself. So even with that, ChatGPT still gave me a schedule, and they still gave me a schedule with some anchor points. So if you're, like I said, that's one way. If you're trying to look for a prompt, how can I do a prompt and you want it personal to you, then you put a lot of your information in there. Okay, so it updated the memory because I have quite a few things from my military transition in ChatGPT, so it updated the memory, and it's suggesting a weekly rhythm for me. Yes, Mary, write it down. So it's suggesting a weekly rhythm for me, so with daily anchors. So my daily anchors, and I'm going to give it to you just as ChatGPT gave it to me, and then I'm going to talk to you about me because as soon as I get a rule, I instantly need flexibility. It's just who I am. It's just how my brain is set up. So daily anchors. Morning, 7 to 9 a.m., prayer, devotional, and journaling, 30 minutes. Light cardio or walk and stretch, 30 minutes. Breakfast and quiet reflection. Okay, whenever I think of something that I'm going to do, I actually go straight into, well, how does this make me feel? Even saying it out loud. And it's a good exercise that I tell people even as I coach them. How does that thing you want make you feel? If it makes you feel heavy, then you need to look and see what in that plan needs to change. If it makes you feel at ease, then okay, let's go forward with that. And so when it comes to this at 7 to 9 a.m., at the same time I kind of giggle because this morning I woke up at 3:30 a.m. And I knew there's a certain kind of wake up I get where I wake up and I know it's time for me to journal. I go to my quiet space, my spiritual space. I have an altar in my spiritual space. That's a whole other conversation. But in that space, I sit and I write. And whatever comes up and whatever comes out is just whatever's meant to come up and come out. So that happened before 7 a.m. But that was my my journaling time. I didn't actually do a full prayer and devotional because those are 3 separate events. Sometimes my journaling, if I get really into it, it can take me 2 hours to journal. And I'm either doing prayer and devotional after, once I have clarity. Journaling gives me clarity. Or I'm doing it right before to point my journaling in a certain direction. And so when this said 30 minutes, I'm like, maybe some days I could do 30 minutes, but I would say 30 minutes should be my minimum activity level of writing because writing is that important to me. The light cardio and the stretch at 7 to 9 a.m., I actually did not do that until the afternoon. It felt good to do it in the afternoon, but as an anchor, it felt good to have this as an anchor for my day. Like, okay, well, at a minimum, I should be taking a 30-minute walk every day. Separate from the actual workout that I want to do, I should be taking, and I want to be outside. If there's good weather, so I did. I took my walk outside in the afternoon. And then breakfast and quiet reflection. My breakfast first started off with a healthy snack, and then I had a protein shake. And as far as quiet reflection, I think today I took a lot of reflection breaks today. Just because I had to. This is a new change, a new transition for me, and so I'm having to coach myself through it. As I'm doing it, I'm having to tell myself, give yourself grace, just like I tell anyone else, give yourself grace. I went through a workbook years ago called Mindful Self-Compassion, and so there are times where I definitely have to work through the steps of mindful self-compassion even with myself. So that was just one anchor. The second anchor, which I do like that this plan only came with 2 anchors. The second anchor was the evening anchor. Cook and eat dinner with your son. Now, ChatGPT, it saw that I wanted to cook with my son and assumed that my son was my only family. So I quickly updated the ask for that. Yes, I want to cook with my son, but I want to eat with my son and my husband, right? That's important to me, that is as many times as we can a week. It doesn't have to be every day, but that we're doing that together. But it is important to me that I cook with my son. And so today, my son, he had been wanting sloppy joes. And we didn't have like this piece of the recipe or that piece of the recipe. We had the canned of whatever, and I have no judgment for, oh, it's not. So yeah, I could easily say, oh, it's not eat clean. And well, okay, I wasn't worried about that. I just wanted to eat with my son. And so, and right now I'm doing a break before starting another 30 days to healthy living. And so when it comes to my son, I just gave him the instructions: cut up half an onion, cut up some garlic cloves, go ahead and put that in there with some oil and turn it on, make sure that gets right, and then add the meat, and then I'm going to come back in there, and then I just coached him. I really just coached him through making the meal, but he made the whole meal, and it was delicious. And then at some point he started asking questions like, well, should I add seasonings? And I'm having to tell him, son, if you are tasting and you want some certain flavors, then go ahead and add those flavors in there. If you are thinking, I think I want some pepper, okay, go ahead and add some pepper. He ended up adding some pepper, some cumin, some garlic, some stuff like that, and it was really, really good, right? It was really good. The whole family enjoyed it. And then we all enjoyed it differently. So they enjoyed it with Hawaiian bread buns, and I can't eat them because it would mess me up. And I enjoyed it with arugula and some sheep feta. Hey, we all enjoyed dinner, and that was part of my goal, was to enjoy dinner. Unplugged family time, games, shows, or chats. I have to check and see because there are some shows that we're trying to watch, and we actually want to get to the movies. So at some point, we'll figure out what's the one show that we want to watch together. We'll pick a day and we'll watch that show together. and then wind down time with my husband or personal relaxation. I'm trying to do both. I'm not trying to do okay? I want some time with my husband and I want some personal relaxation time. So I'm going to see how that works in the evening. So that was just the first part of having the anchor for my day. And I once again asked myself, does this anchor feel good? Yes, these anchor points feel good. Okay, then what would I need to do to go forward with them? Okay, so then ChatGPT gave me weekly blocks. Once again, I'm having to ask myself, do these feel good? So for Monday, it gave a weekly block of, in the morning, do strength training. At midday, do Arbonne outreach and content creation. In the afternoon, do admin with check-ins, scheduling bills, and then in the evening, do dinner and family time. So I'll say that for Monday, I hit those, but in a different order. So I did admin first. I was like, let me just I should say, I did admin first after journaling and all that kind of stuff. I did admin first, did some out processing, made some phone calls, checked some emails. I did the admin stuff first. That would be my military transition admin. And then I did some, there's another thing I did in here, which I'll have to go back to. My Arbonne outreach was more content creation today, kind of like I'm doing now. And then I am thinking about the events for the week. So I'm trying to think through that. All right, let me go to Tuesday. Tuesday is cardio in the morning. In the midday is astronumerology work, either client sessions or learning. And I would add or writing, because for my clients, some of my clients get a full written report and I hand write that report. And so as I am doing a written report for a client, that actually takes me some time to get it all out. Afternoon, creative work, either writing or improv or some other kind of creative work. In the evening, dinner and devotional reflection. I do like that one, but I think that even for that Tuesday, I said I could tell right away as I read it, like, oh, this is a good idea. I'm gonna flip it around and do it a different way. I do like my admin, whatever my admin is, I like it in the morning. I like to get it out the way. I also have transitioning medical tomorrow. Take the place of certain things. All right, let me go to the next one. Wednesday, strength training, because I want it 3 times a week, so every other day. Strength training, social media, networking, dinner with my husband. So dinner with my husband, that's going to stay for Wednesday. The other things, I'm probably going to change the order of it. Now let's get to Thursday. Thursday is cardio, Arbonne follow-ups, acting class, improv, workshops, dinner, relaxation. So right now my acting classes are on Wednesday night. So that's one thing I already knew. Like, okay, I'll change that. Arbonne follow-ups, I love that. Before I haven't had like one day to say, this day, this is my follow-up day. That's something I've been wanting to work on. And so I do like the idea of having a follow-up day and working on it. I like the cardio. It may be in the afternoon, it may be in the morning, whatever makes sense. But like I said, the acting class will probably move to a different day. Fridays, strength training, astronumerology or business development, reflective writing or creative work, movie night or family night. We don't actually like doing movie nights. We like to do matinee movies on the weekends. And so unless that Friday is a holiday, then we're probably not going to do that night. But we'll do some of these other things and mix it up. And so I just have to see, like, I like the idea of this one and the things that it gave me, but then even as I read them, I said, oh, I'm gonna change some things there. Let's see, Saturday, cardio or walk plus devotional, which to me, those are all different events. And so, to me, devotional is not something that is an option, right? So even though it didn't have it on every day, it had it on certain days, that's not an option for me. It's something that needs to happen daily. Rest, connect with friends, and then Sunday is set prayer, reflective writing, meal prep, light house reset. So during the house reset, I started thinking about that, like, okay, how can I be better at the house reset? Because there are some things that I also need to do in this transition to get ready. I need to get the house ready. I need to get rid of old things. I need to get rid of a much beloved chapter of my Air Force time, but there are some things I need to get rid of from that chapter. And so I gave some updates, like, hey, we're going to do it on a weekday. It updated the weekly planner for me. It put it on Excel. So if you're like, how does it come out? It comes out on Excel. Then I had to play with it because not all the time when it's on Excel will the document come out properly. Well, not all the time will it work. And so So yeah. Then I asked it for show ideas, so kind of like this one, and I just kind of took some of what it said, but then I just changed it up to what works for me. Because I like Mindful Monday, and then I like for that to be a military transition Mindful Monday, since that's what's happening in my world. And then the next part I asked more about, like I'm skipping ahead here. I asked about, in this transition, so here's the next prompt. In this transition, I really need to clean and declutter 25 years of stuff. I want to start in sections of my bedroom. Can you make me a schedule? I don't know about y'all, but this part is probably the most anxiety creating part for me, is the decluttering. I need to declutter, I need to declutter, I need to declutter. And so it did. It gave me a schedule. So it said it gave me a 3-week decluttering schedule, and it's for bedroom. Now, I've decided to define 3 different areas that I would count as my bedroom or my personal space. I'm going to say personal space decluttering. I would say my side of the bedroom, my office, because my office is a mixed space, so it's only me though. It's my office. It also is my library. My altar is in there, and my Peloton bike is in there. And so I do anything from office work to prayer, meditation, to writing. I do a lot of things in that room. And so that room would be room number 2 as far as my personal spaces. And then room number 3, I actually have a whole separate closet at the end of the hallway that is included. So those 3 spaces are what I'm going to include in the bedroom cleanup or personal space cleanup. And so, like I said, it gave me 3 weeks to do it, which I like. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. I'm giving myself grace. And so I'm not trying to do this all in one day. So week 1, and I really do like this. Week 1, surface clarity. Everything I do is about clarity. Monday, nightstands, declutter drawers, and dust surfaces. Well, what's funny is I actually started this last week. I felt the call to get up in that nightstand and get it right. My husband's nightstand, it looks wonderful. My nightstand, just know I'm not posting pictures because it look a hot mess, okay? Just stuff all over the place in a pile that goes to the ceiling. Not exactly to the ceiling, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it goes up, and then it dusty, and I trash, and all kind of stuff that I just been holding on to or just throwing it over there. And I said, nope, I have to declutter. The drawers had years worth of stuff in them because I did not declutter my nightstand drawers from one PCS to the other. I'm going to say that. I didn't declutter it. And so I had more, and I've been here for 3 years. So I've been here for 3 years, hadn't decluttered it. I need to take all that stuff out of there and just really go through it. I found old pictures. I found old documents from a previous PCS about my son, all kind of stuff. And I found all his little pictures from middle school, and I was like, I was wondering where all these pictures went, but I found all that stuff. But anyway, so today I finished, and I felt so good when I decluttered the nightstand. Okay, so Monday, nightstand decluttering. Tuesday, dresser top. Remove excess, clean, and reset intentionally. Woo! All right, so that's what I have to do tomorrow. And I'm like, I really could count 2 surfaces as a dresser top, but right now there's like one is the primary, and then the one that has the TV on is secondary because I have stuff there I need to declutter it too. Wednesday is the dresser drawers. Sort by type. Keep, donate, toss. I'm a paper bag person, and so when I want to donate something, I put it in paper bags. I do not like putting my donations in trash bags. It's me. Anyone else can do that. I just don't like, because I'm like, it's not trash. I like to fold up my stuff, put it in a paper bag, and that's how I donate. I'm very much looking forward to getting rid of some shoes. If you wear a size 10 to 10 and a half to an 11, let me know. I can start posting some stuff. I was just going to put it in the bag and donate it. Okay, Thursday, under the bed. Woo! Look, okay? It is a Stephen King novel under that bed on my side of the bed, okay, y'all? So I've got all kind of stuff under there. So I need to declutter what's under the bed. It says pull everything, clean, rehome, release, okay? I need to do that as well. Friday, vacuum and wipe down baseboards. Well, in order for me to do that, I have to get a whole bunch of other stuff off the floor as well. So, yeah. And then weekend, rest and do one small journal reflection. What am I making room for? That feels really good to me. It feels really good to me to really think about what am I making room for. This is an exercise anyone can do. So if you're trying to figure out the decluttering, like I said, week 1 was surface decluttering, and then at the end of the week, what am I making room for? All right, week 2 is closet shift. Okay, Monday, shoes, sort, donate, organize. Tuesday, hangers, as in everything on a hanger. Release what no longer fits your lifestyle. I like that it said fits your lifestyle. My ChatGPT is nice to me because I'm thinking to myself, fits your body. But yeah, if it doesn't fit my lifestyle, I need to let it go. If it's there's been some things I'm holding on. What am I holding on to this for? I'm not wearing that. And that's another thing I had to check myself for. I'm holding on to whatever this is, thinking, oh, I'm going to wear this again. Why? Do I even want to wear that again? And then 2, what makes me think I can't get something I want? Let me release it into the wild, right? Which I'm going to donate it. Wednesday, seasonal rotation. Go ahead and rotate. Because right now I still have half of my closet is still winter. I still have a lot of sweaters. Now, I mean, it's not super hot in the DC area. So if I'm probably not the only one that still has a sweater up, just, prominently in my closet. But I need to go ahead and change that out. Thursday, jewelry and accessories, declutter and beautify. So this week when I went through my nightstand, just my nightstand, a lot of my jewelry I had been looking for popped up. And I was like, oh, here's this and here's that. And okay, I'm putting it in my little jewelry area because I'm going to get to it on the jewelry day. That made me feel good. So I'm already seeing that as I go through each surface and each item, I'm going to be finding things. Friday is the closet floor and the shelves. Woo, y'all, okay? You don't want to know what the closet floor looks like right now. Clean and reset. And then weekend, celebrate with a mini photo shoot or outfit you forgot you loved. That feels good too. I kind of get excited like, ooh, what am I going to find in here that I'm going to remix, remake, or whatever that I really want to wear that I hadn't worn in a while, or that, my body has changed. My body changed from surgery last year. And as my hormones have changed. So things have changed and things fit differently now. And I'm welcoming this season with open arms. And so now I am interested in, I wonder what that thing is and what will it fit. Week 3, hidden and healing spaces. So Monday, desk and vanity. Papers, makeup products. So my desk is in my altar room. So I'm already thinking that the hidden and healing spaces means I'm going into my altar room to declutter, get rid of things. Wall decor. For this wall decor, I'm going to be looking at my bedroom as well as my altar room office. It says, reassess what inspires you in this new chapter. I really have to look at that. So I'm glad this is week 3 because then I would have already let some other things go and brought in some clarity. Wednesday, sentimental box, letters, mementos. Spend only 1 hour on this. When I read that, I said, only 1 hour? That's going to be hard. But maybe it won't be hard by week 3. Maybe it won't be, right? Thursday, tech zone, chargers, cords, bedside gadgets. I already saw a lot of my bedside gadgets that I forgot that I even had and have been organizing them and putting them in. They're now in my nightstand in these organization trays. And so I feel a lot better with that. So by the time I get to week 3, I should have all kinds of stuff found all over the room. And then Friday, final sweep and donate drop off. I'm probably going to do donations each week because it makes me feel good to let stuff go each week. I'm not going to wait till week 3 to do donations. And then weekend, burn sage or light a candle. So I had to tell my ChatGPT that I'm not necessarily wanting to burn sage. I do like burning herbs, or I do like burning incense. That's more my way. And so I asked to change that language a little bit. Light a candle to energetically seal your space. Oh, I love to do that. I light candles every day. So that's not going to be hard for me to do. And so yeah, so that's what I'm going to work on, and that's going to help me feel less lost in this transition. I know that this transition is a big mental transition to go from the uniform out of uniform. It's a big, there's just been already, I'm glad I joined the Arbonne family this January, because it also gave me a new way to look at life. It gave me some new goals, and I needed those. It gave me some new goals for both healthy clarity, for holistic coaching, as well as Arbonne, and then it gave me some new goals for the transition out as I've started to talk to more and more veterans and people that have already transitioned. Also my friends. So a lot of my friends that are in this area have already transitioned. And so I'm not going to name you all out. I'm just going to say thank you, because you all have had some very timely conversations with me about the emotions after. At least one of my friends has a book about all the emotions after. And so and just letting go of one chapter and moving into the next. And so I'm really having to, like I said, give myself grace in this year moving forward. This for me is a 9-year, just like it's a 9-year for everyone else. 9-year is culminations, completions, but it's also celebrations. And so most of you know my big celebration is the 5th of June. If you can watch this, you are invited. People have asked me that. I'm like, look, I tried to get it out to everybody. I put it on this page. I put it on that group. I sent it an email this way. I tried to make sure that everyone got the invitation. I'm sure I missed somebody. Everyone who can see me right now, you're invited, right? You are invited. So that's the big transition. So as I continue with this, I finally, my blood orange with apples and peach Bellini, non-alcoholic. This is a non-alcoholic beverage, sippy thing. My cup says celebrate. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. In my 9-year, I am celebrating. I'm releasing. I'm celebrating. I'm getting renewed, all that kind of good stuff. All right, so I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing the weekly numerology of the week, but I might. Like today. I will talk about today before I go. Today is the full moon in Scorpio. The full moon was this afternoon at, wait one second. I want to say it was at 12:55, but let me double check. So the 12th at, I'm pretty sure it was at 12:55 p.m. Eastern time. So depending on where you were, that was the moon. So the moon in Scorpio in opposition or opposing the sun in Taurus at 22 degrees. 22 degrees is the degree of the master architect of peace. It's a degree of internationalism, diplomacy. It is double peaceful reception if it is used wisely. If not, then it can be squandered on the breaking down of peaceful structures. So that's something to think about there. And now, if you are a Scorpio sun anywhere near 22 degrees or a Scorpio rising anywhere near 22 degrees, then this is going to be a very personal, or if you're in a transit anywhere near that 22 degrees. For example, my rising is, I'm a Scorpio rising, and at 21 degrees. And so this is a very personal full moon for me. And even everything I just talked about, this is my way to declutter and release over the next month. And so that's also a good activity to think about. On a full moon, what are you releasing? What are you letting go of? Can you release and let go over the next 28 days, which is until the next full moon, and then there'll be a different focus. And so that's what I'm looking at. What am I releasing? What am I letting go of as I bring in this new chapter? So this for me is a very important full moon, and I'm very technical when I look at the astrology and I look at the numerology as far as taking any kind of advice from that. So so that's what I'm looking at. I have a lot of other things that are happening today, like the sun. This also impacts my Chiron. I have another friend that mentioned her Chiron. She's in her Chiron return. Happy Chiron return. So the sun is conjunct my Chiron, which means the moon is opposite my Chiron. So that's going to be a big part. So what am I healing? That's the question. And the question is, what am I healing? And so everything that I talked about in this video here was all about decluttering, healing, mental clarity, the things that I'm doing so that I can transition in the way that I want to transition. I'm not going to say successfully, because yes, I can say successfully, but everyone has their own definition of success. But how am I doing that transition? The other one, I like to go within 3 degrees, but right outside of 3 degrees would be my Uranus. My Uranus is in Scorpio at 26 degrees. And so if you have, like I said, if you have any planets, I'll say 3 to 4 degrees of 22 degrees, then this full moon is personal for you. And so like for me, like I said, it's my rising, my first house. It is my Chiron, which is my 7th house. And it is my Uranus, which is actually in my first house. So if you want more information on that, let me know. I can coach you through that. Mine is very mindful, very intentional as far as how these are used in my practice, and how I coach with them. So let me know if you need that. Anyway, so if you need some Arbonne, I got you. If you need some astronumerology, I got you there as well. If you need some holistic coaching, I got you there. So let me know how I can help you. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you want to get organized with me this season of release and clarity and all the good stuff. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I hope you are eating and spending time with your loved ones. And yeah, may peace be with you. Have a great night.